Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Market Open. So this is also technically a financial blog miss, I think episode 19, but we did turn one of these into a market close. So I thought it's only fair we do the same thing at a market open. And today, of course, after yesterday, we had a massive red day. Massive. So let's see what happens. I have a hypothesis. I'm thinking we're going to see a green bounce to begin the day. It may very well go back to red after that. But I'm thinking it's kind of like the markets went a little bit too far yesterday, and maybe we're just going to get a little bit of a retracement back into the green before the market really decides what it's going to do. But guys, let's take a look and see what the pre-market thinks. So I'll bring up the old pre-markets. I'm using the CNN one. I actually like the CNN one. It's not too shabby. So when we look at the S&P futures right now, they are in the green. So there's a lot of people out there thinking we're going to see some green coming back. So yeah, S&P 500, futures in the green, looking good. If we look though at the world, let's bring it down. Australia not having a good day today. They began the day off in the red. We got India in the red, Japan in the red, Europe in the red. The UK is in the red. Well, we got the Shanghai Composite in the green. So that's all we're seeing green wise. Brazil hasn't. Well, they haven't opened yet. They ended in the green yesterday, but as you can see, North America firm in the red from yesterday. It's it's not looking good, but let's see what happens. Of course, taking a look at the markets before things happen, you can see this is where we were let off yesterday. Pretty much the TSX was having a bad month, and then they sent us on a skydive without a parachute. And boy, wow, look at this day. That's absolutely crazy. But that's yesterday. Today is a new day. We're going to see what happens as the markets open here in about 13 minutes. So let's take a gander. I don't have a lot of stocks on here right now, but let's take a look at a couple of American stocks. MicroStrategy. In the pre-market, they are up. So MicroStrategy up at 364.84. Now, mind you, Bitcoin has also been recovering this morning, so that is kind of driving them up. Tesla pre-market is up as well. They're sitting right now at 451 compared to the 440, so that's a good sign. Another good sign. What about Nvidia? Let's take a look here. Nvidia is up as well. They're up at 131.93 right now in the market open. So that's not too shabby. We might get some interesting movement here. Let's add another good American stock that we can look at. Let's take a look at, let's see here. Let's take a look at the Bank of America. The Bank of America. I'm trying to think of somebody who's outside of tech. So Bank of America. All right, let's see what they're doing. And they're also up in the pre-market. They've gone from 43 up to 44. So things are looking good. Things are looking good for a green start, at least to the S&P 500. The TSX, of course, we don't have any indication. Are they going to pull the same thing? I'm thinking so. So we will find out pretty darn soon. Oh boy, what can we say? Now, I did mention Bitcoin. So Bitcoin here has rebounded from this. Well, they went down a little further after the two big drops, but they have started fighting back. So that's not too shabby. Can they continue to fight back? Well, there's their new all-time high up here. I don't foresee them getting there today, but you never know. So it's going to be a very interesting morning for sure. Well, let's hit up the chat here. We got lots of time here before the bell. We got Mohammed with a good morning, Candace. Bleak is in the house with a hey all, and there is a Stan Gray looking good all. Good morning, everyone, says Mario. And then Larry says, sold out of my Tesla last night, rebought this morning. I'm long Coro 2X Korea Bull ETF 3.7 into 3.98. We'll sell at 420 and long SOXL 2X chip ETF up $1. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, we're gonna see what this market is gonna do in a few moments. It's funny when I start going through all the names, especially in the morning. Somebody once said it reminds them of Romper Room. So any of you who are old enough to remember Romper Room, it's like, I got my little magic mirror. I see Bleak 784. I see Stan Gray. I see Mario. Mario, stop bugging your sister. That type of thing. But anyway, nonetheless, things are looking pretty good. Things are looking up. I am expecting some green here in the next little bit. Well, we got about 10 minutes. We got about 10 minutes until the market opens. All right. Guys. All right, what I want to do right now is I'm going to head over to the crypto heat map because crypto right now is active. It is doing its thing. As you know, Bitcoin right now, so far up 2% on the day. That's not too shabby. Ethereum is following 1.67. XRP 2.74. So we definitely have a few coins having a good day. Not all coins are having a good day, though. Let's get our crap coin of the day out of the way nice and early. I'm just gonna get rid of some of those so we can see these red in here. We'll pick a red. We'll pick a red stock. We'll pick a red stock this morning. Red stock. Sorry, a red coin. We're taking stock of a crap coin. There we go. That works. There's about 15,000 of these. All of these altcoins, I like to call them crap coins because it's a crap shot, whether, it's a crap shoot, whether or not you're going to make anything from them. Chances are you're probably going to crash and burn. Here's one. What is it? 4Tube. 4Tube. What the heck is 4Tube? I don't know what this does. No idea. It is worth a fraction of a penny, so 0.145 of a penny. Back in its heyday, it used to be worth 2 cents. So, you definitely get your 2 cents worth then, but not anymore. Not anymore. They've been on a downward trend. A lot of these coins, people just make coins for the sake of making coins, I think. A lot of meme coins, a lot of coins that really have no potential. So stick to the good ones, guys. And let's bring back the good ones. Stick to your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your BNB. Leave those other coins alone. Seriously, leave them alone. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. And definitely not worth losing your money over for sure. All right. Back to the pre-market. Everything is still looking good in the pre-market. We got Vineet in the house. We got a good morning all. And Vineet wants to know if Larry made any profit. And Larry has made some profit. So yeah, 129 into 153 on 15,000 shares. So guys, think about that. So that's 15,000 shares, and we're talking 24 cents on 15,000 shares. That's a good amount. Actually, you know what? Give me a second, guys. I'll calculate that for you. So 24 cents times 15,000, bang. Basically $3,600 right there. Bang, bang. It's pretty much, that's not too shabby, especially for a single trade. Oh boy, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Of course, to do what Larry does, you need to have the capital. You need to have the capital to do that. Not everybody has that capital, but Larry does, and he's using it. He's using it the right way. Definitely. We got a JJ in the house with a good morning. Vineet is in here. Woo! Larry is printing. Yeah, absolutely. So this morning, I was looking at the categories. The categories for Friday night's stream. So I might just share that with you guys this morning. I might share it. Now these are where I'm at right now. I might change one up, but right now we're looking at a few different categories. I'll tell you the category. Yeah, here's the categories. So as you guys know, on Friday night, so tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be holding a live stream. It's our 5,000 celebration. You guys will have a chance to win. So we're going to have 5 questions from each of these categories, ranging from super easy to moderate. So we have Canadian REITs, the financial sector, registered accounts, US tech stocks, ETFs, retirement supports. Oh boy. Canadian oil, asset managers, politics. Uh-oh, that one might cause some infighting. And finally, we got the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Canada. So those are the topics that we currently have, and I'm going to be tinkering with these through the day, probably a little bit into tomorrow as well. So we will say we'll see how it sounds. Vinit's like, woo, Larry is printing. And Larry says, I got the best kind of money, other people's money. There we go. So Larry runs, I guess you'd call it a hedge fund. I would think. Is that what you're calling it, Larry? Yeah, the Larry Hedge Fund. Let's see. I was looking forward to it, but I may not be available that day and time, unfortunately. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you can always watch it in the replay and say, gosh, I would have won if I was there. Anchor Tours says, good morning. Good morning, Anchor. Good to see you. Vinit says, sounds a bit like Jeopardy with the categories. It kind of is. I mean, actually, it's the same. I think it's the same number of questions. No, I think Jeopardy has more. I think Jeopardy actually has more. But yeah. But it will run differently than Jeopardy, of course. And we don't have any of that fun music. So guys, we got about 4 minutes before the market opens. I'm curious here. Just go back and take a look at. Well, we're going to stick with the Bank of America. Still up, ready to go into that pre-market. So I am expecting to see some green for the Bank of Canada. Sorry, the Bank of America. I'm expecting to see green as well for most of the markets. We should start off green. Doesn't mean, guys, it does not mean we're getting a green day. It just means that we may have gone a bit too far yesterday in the market, and we're coming back up a little bit to start the day off. Once we sort of stabilize, then the market will decide what it's going to do. All right. Larry says, Ocular Infinium Limited is my fund name, but I'm slowly turning everything into my corporation. Let's see, Alorium Corp, like Buffett did, just with less money. People are getting annoyed paying taxes. Yes, I hate paying taxes. That is a number one way to annoy me is tax me. Tax me. No, don't. Vinit says Tesla to at least 480 today. That could be interesting. Where are they at right now? Right now they're sitting at 452. So you're thinking about 480. So right about here. Maybe they might get there. We'll have to see what the market decides to do. If people have had enough time to sort of, calm down, because you have to realize too, with what happened yesterday with the Fed releasing their information, the market had already priced in more rate cuts than what it now looks like we're going to see on the U.S. side in 2025. So that's part of it. That's part of the thing that hurt the market a little bit. So the market's kind of like unpricing some of those rate cuts, and that's the market doesn't like unpricing its predictions. And as you know, it usually ends up being a little bit red when that happens. So let's see what happens here. We got about a minute and 15 seconds until the market officially opens. I got the bell here. So guys, so anybody who's wearing headphones, or if you're very sensitive to sounds, you got about a minute. I would take out those headphones or turn your volume down. I won't go crazy with the bell, but nonetheless, I just don't want anyone to get sort of a ringing in their ears that lasts longer than the bell. That's for sure. Cowboy is in the house with the morning all. Good morning, Cowboy. How are you? We got Verena with a hi, everyone. Hi, Verena. Good to see you. All right, guys, we are really close. We're like 25 seconds from the market open. I'm excited. I'm excited. Boy, this is a big The vibe is already very different here than yesterday. I mean, you guys were coming in. It was like, we had people who are seasoned investors are like, yeah, this is old school. We're used to this. There's no problem. Then we had the panicked group that were in yesterday too. So that's always fun. All right, guys, here comes the bell. All right, there we go. Nice, easy bell. Nice, easy bell. Markets are open. Markets are open. As you can see, Tesla already popping up on the board here with a little bit of a red. But you know what we're interested in? Um, we're interested in a couple of things. First of all, the S&P 500. Look at this. Let's jump over here. They have begun in the green. You can see they have jumped up quite a bit from where they closed yesterday. So they're climbing a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of green there. All right. We don't have anything yet on the TSX. What is this? Oh, for some reason it's delayed. It's delayed. We have to wait 15 minutes before we know what's going on with the TSX. I do not like that. I do not like that. But there are more ways to skin a cat than just one way. So let's go over to, we'll go over to Yahoo. Yahoo Finance. All right. Perfect. All right. This is what we're looking for. All right. Let's jump in here and see if we got anything showing up yet on the, this is the S&P TSX capped. I don't want to be in the capped financial index. That's not where I wanted to be. All right. All right. Let's take a gander here. All right. We'll figure it out as we move along. We've at least got some green happening on the U.S. market. That's good. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a little bit of that happening on the Canadian market as well as things move along. All right. Verena says, okay, what happened yesterday? Crypto and stocks. Yeah, we had a crash. The biggest reason for that crash was, of course, it began early in the day with a little bit of worry about what was going to happen with the rate cuts. Of course, rate cuts, when the Fed decides to act, does tend to panic the market a little bit. So we did see that. And as we saw that, Jay Powell finally came along and said, oh, no, here's your 25 basis points. You're fine. But we're going to really probably not cut for that much next year. The market is now thinking probably 2 rate cuts will be in 2025 for the U.S. because the American economy is doing really well. So that alone definitely hurt the market. He also made some comments as well about Trump's plan to add Bitcoin to the Treasury and how that might not be entirely legal. So we'll have to sort of see. That won't stop Trump, of course. Trump will find a way around that. But people were definitely excited about that. And now, so that hurt crypto a bit more as well. But mostly it was all about the fact that the market had priced in quite a few rate cuts in 2025 on the Fed side, and they're not going to get them. They're probably only going to get 2 at this point, because right now 2 things are happening. Inflation's being a little sticky. So that alone is making them not want to lower the rate. And in addition to that, the U.S. economy is just doing okay. It's being strong. The job markets are being strong. They're really not worried. And they don't really need that. Now, on the Canadian side, that is really bad news because we do need those rate cuts. Our economy is not doing so well. Our economy is sputtering. Our economy is running through molasses. It's not doing well at all. And of course, because of that, the rate cuts are what are going to sort of be that little tool that the Bank of Canada has to try to improve our economy and our job market. But that's going to be taking us further out of step with what the U.S. is doing. That's not good for the Canadian dollar. So we could be looking at the Canadian dollar having a little bit of a drop. I'm going to, just give me a second here. Let me get back over to here because Who knows? Who knows how copyright strikes work? Sometimes, I could be accidentally showing an ad and get copyrighted claimed or something on it. I'm like, no, don't do that. But yeah, that's basically what's been happening. Um, I think right now, I think we kind of went really red yesterday, so I've been anticipating a little bit of a green start to the day. And actually, look at this; it's actually looking pretty good for the S&P 500's doing it, but not well. The Nasdaq is also delayed, so we can't really rely on that. Other than the fact that if we look at something like Nvidia is not delayed. They are up. I know that shows a little bit of red, but they're up on the day 1.83%. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. So we are seeing green overall on the U.S. side. Um, and I don't know. Even with CNR, I've got a delay on that. So I got a 15-minute delay. What the heck's going on there? However, I always have more ways to find information out here. Give me 1 second. Let me see here. Okay. I'll get you a current price right now in CNR. That'll tell us if it's up. I am... of course they are. All right, let me just take one gander here. We'll see if I can get current information. And the answer is... All right, so right now, CNR is coming in. They're actually coming in a little bit down. They're at 146.19. So that's in there compared to the 146.40. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll know here in about not even 10 minutes. We should have our first readings here on the Canada side. On the Canada side, I gotta look into my settings here. I don't know why my Canadian side has got delayed on it right now. So not fun for sure. All right, let me pull this back. There we go. Mohammed says, good morning. Verena says, I don't understand why, if the economy is doing well, that the market crashes. The market's all about psychology, to be honest, because all the market is, it's a reflection of what people are willing to pay for a stock, so for a company. So when people get panicked, they start to sell, and that will cause the price to go down for that simple reason, because there's more people selling than there are buying. It's the same idea that when people are feeling really good about the economy or feeling really good about about everything that's going on in the world, people will start buying, and that will basically, it'll create more buying pressure. It pushes the price up. So it's kind of this delicate balance, and a lot of it works on what's going on just with fears and concerns. So when you look at, and I got to bring this back. Let me just pull this back here. CNN has one on it. We'll just go over there to it. Let's see, business. Here it is right here, Fear and Greed Index. So this here gives us a general idea of how people are feeling. And right now we're sitting in fear. So that does drive people, to sell, because a lot of times it's kind of like, and you guys know, I always talk about the emotions when it comes to buying stocks. Like, if your stock starts to go down, there's always that fear that, oh my gosh, I'm losing money. It's falling. What am I going to do? Well, you shouldn't be selling. That's probably the wrong thing. But so many people do. And of course, that just basically it sort of strengthens the fear, and things can get out of control. And, that's how a lot of big crashes happen, because normally a big crash starts with some stocks going down because maybe there was some kind of a stimulus of some sort, whether it be in this case here, what was happening yesterday with the Fed, that can drive prices down. And sometimes if people all start giving into it, it pushes the prices further down. And then other people are looking at it and they start panicking and they start selling. And that then pushes the price even further down. And you get to a point that you have more sellers than buyers. And then you're in a free fall, we always come out of it. Like if it's a good company, you really, your best bet, for example, let's say, we'll use CNR. If CNR is falling, Your best bet is not to sell out of it. Your best bet is to hold on, dollar cost average more as you sort of go back down, and that lowers your adjusted cost base. So when they recover on the other side, you're going to be better off than if you just held on and did nothing. So that's kind of the way to approach it. But now, if you're a trader, and we're going to talk about traders. So if you're a trader, what you like to do, if you're holding CNR and you're a trader, now CNR is typically not a stock that people are doing a lot of swing trades on. But if you're a trader, what you might do is if CNR is sitting there nice and healthy at 150, and you see some big economic turmoil coming, you might sell that position, let it crash. Maybe it crashes to, let's say it crashes all the way down to like 130. Then you're buying back in. And at that point, you probably, depending on how many shares that you sold up at the top, you can probably buy more shares than what you originally had. So as it rebounds and gets back up to 150 again, you've got more shares. And it's just by doing a simple little swing trade that you've done in there to do that. That's one of the things that people will do. So just something to keep in mind. Larry says, let's see, long forward bought calls for $10 in January. Oh, interesting. Let's see here. Up 10% on my Tesla short again. Gonna start selling. Yeah, you might want to. I mean, I know Tesla right now, they have started the day. Let's head back over here to Tesla. Yeah, like right now they're up about 1.45%, but now they're starting to move back down a little bit. So you might be safe, but still, if you're in profit, it never hurts to take. Verena says, well, I am holding on for sure for the long term. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Especially, I mean, if you're young, you got no worries. These red days, if you have stocks that you believe in, so especially blue chip stocks, just all you want to do is be dollar cost averaging, keep stacking. On days like this, you're making money. You're making money, maybe not that day, but those future things, buying the dip is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But it's not that it's not that it's best to use it, of course, in conjunction with of course dollar cost averaging. And I've done this before. Let's if we go over to where is my whiteboard? Here we go. All right, let's get back down here. I went and erased my chart, but typically this is the type of movement that you will see in a I'm going to grab the little one. This is typically the type of movement that you'll see. So, of course, you have your bulls. So your bulls going up, and you got your bears going down. And that's just all part of the normal economic cycle. So you got a bull, bear, bull. It happens that way. So when it comes to, all right, let's do this as, I'm just going to do it in here. So normally what you should be doing, let's just put a dot. I put a dot down there just so I can get rid of that. So normally what you should be doing on your way up, all right, and this is what a lot of the big investors will do. What they're doing is they're actually creating their cash positions as they're in a bull market. So, they're not, there we go, like that. It's not like they're selling everything, throwing it into cash, but as the bull market progresses, their cash position goes bigger. So maybe here it was like 1%. Maybe up here it's 4%. And maybe by the top they're sitting at let's just say 10%. It could be much higher, it could be much lower, but that they're building that cash position so that when they get into the bull market, well, at that point, they're going to be dollar cost averaging. So in this case here, their cash positions are getting lower. So they may have had 10% here, but maybe up here they have 8%. Because they bought stuff on sale. Maybe down here they have, let's say 5%, maybe 3% down here. So that's what they're doing. And then, of course, once again, we move back in. They're buying and they're selling. So generally, one of the good things about it is as the bull market continues, your cash position's getting bigger. Then your cash position, if you're lucky, by the time you get to the reversal from the bear market back into a bull market, you have a very small cash position because you bought a bunch of stuff on sale. And that can all tie into, because in a sense, if you look at this, you'll notice how these are regularly spaced. This is kind of like a dollar cost selling. So you could call it DCS, dollar cost selling. And in this case here, on the way down, you're buying things. You're basically, that's your normal dollar cost averaging, right? That's what you're doing. So you're sort of switching back between these two. Now, there's nothing, you can still have a dollar cost averaging as well on the way up. It's just that you are taking, some of that is being diverted into this. So that's not like all of your money. Oh, why did it do that? I don't know why I did that, but that's not all of your money. It's part of your money. So you can sort of, and this is where you can sort of work at your discretion. Like you might be saying that, maybe at the beginning of a bull market. So you could even say, at the beginning of the bull market, maybe what I will look at is for buying and for cash. And this is new money coming in. Maybe at the beginning of the bull market, you're maybe, you might even say, I'm just going to have, 1% is going to go to cash initially. The other 99% will be into the regular dollar cost averaging. The bull market continues. And at that point, you might be saying, okay, well, now I think I'm going to have 5% going towards cash, and maybe 95% would be my, my thing. And then as this really progresses, at that point, you might be saying, okay, you know what? I think we're getting closer to a bull market. So I might have 25% of my cash, and then maybe 75% over here going into my normal dollar cost average. And of course, the longer that bull market goes, a lot of times the more. Now, keep in mind, regular bull market, some of them have stretched pretty long. Like some of them have, I believe that there are some that have even gone as far as 5 years. This one here, because technically this here was kind of like this bull run right here. If you think about it, if you put it to in our time, this was kind of what we actually saw here is we were on a bit of a bull market, and then we had this. All right, there we go. Then we went back into the bull market. So this here was that pandemic crash. That's kind of what happened to us. And then we had a bear market, and now we're currently on that next one. So at this point here, this bear market, so this here began around the beginning of 2022, end of 2021, and it went, it went for a while. It went for at least how long was it? About a year or so. Then we slowly went back into a bull market. And we don't know how long this is going to be. That's the thing. We don't know. Now, we will get things like what we've seen today. We'll get little corrections, but that doesn't mean that's not a bear market. For a bear market, you take your all-time high here and you basically need to go down about 25%. So if you drop 25%, that typically means that you're entering into a bear market. Now, we did drop 25% in the pandemic, but it was very short-lived. So after the fact, we don't really, you could say that we had about a 1 month bear market right there. You could say that, sure. Technically as well, you could almost call it a recession too. And I think some analysts have been calling it a tiny, tiny recession from that pandemic. But anyway, I went off on a tangent again, didn't I? Verena says, not yet young anymore. Let's see. 2 stocks I really want them to dip. Reality Income O and AMD. Okay. Fair enough. All right, guys, we should let's take a gander back here again and see. All right. So the TSX, yeah, we were thinking that we were going to get a little bit of a green start. And we did. We did, as I kind of expected. So right now, 0.32 up. Things are moving a little bit. Now, mind you, by lunchtime, we'll have an idea if we're going to have a green day or if we're going to have a red day. It's going to be one of the two. It's kind of just that way things move, of course. What can I say? What can I say? But, and but CNR, you remember we looked that up. You can see they're actually not doing so well. They're a little bit. They finished right there, so they're a little bit down. They did dip. They did wick down a bit more. So we'll see if they can get some recovery going in there for you. See, Verena says, thank you very much for the explanation. Quite honestly, Verena, anytime I get an excuse to go to the whiteboard, I'm there. I'm there. I love the whiteboard. So, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so we do we're off to the races. We're off to the races, folks. We got a little bit of a green. We got, everything is pretty much, it's looking pretty good right across the board. And the NASDAQ overall is in the green as well. So let's take a gander here. So we got, what about the Canadian? The Canadian dollar. We're still sitting at 69.61. So it would be nice to see that get back up a little bit. It has risen a bit, 0.64. But now, mind you, that 0.64, part of that is, if you notice right above here, the US dollar is down 0.13. So technically, our dollar is only up about 0.6 or 0.58 or 0.57 now to the US, just because, part of that is reflected in the fact the American dollars come down a little bit. But yeah, we're seeing green pretty much right across the board, other than silver. Look at silver, down 1.06%. WTI right now up 1.56%. So that's not too shabby. Bitcoin, they're faltering a little bit. Aren't they? Let's pull this up here. They're only at 0.86%. So yeah, we got a little bit of a red candle on the start of the day for Bitcoin. So let's see what they can do. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see another all-time high today. I think that's not in the cards at all. All right. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. S&P 500 looking good. Well, mostly looking good. I mean, they are below that blue line. These blue lines, by the way, guys, if you're newer to the channel, these here are where we started the month. So I've got one right now for the S&P 500. So this is the line that we need to break to have a green month. Now, we can potentially still have a Santa Claus rally without breaking this line, because basically the Santa Claus rally is basically that we have a green from, the 24th until the first trading day in January. So, that will be next week. Next week will be our Santa Claus rally if we get it. I'm hoping so. And then the TSX way down from their line right now. I'm thinking, especially with the political turmoil. So we kind of got the double whammy here from the political stuff and then from Mr. Powell. So, this here's the political stuff pretty much. And this is Mr. Powell. So it's going to be a tough run, but you never know. I mean, sometimes I've seen the market recover from worse. So it is possible. Now, the other big story is down here on the NASDAQ. So the Dow Jones. All right. So this here Dow Jones, if you look at this big long run, this here is 10 days in a row of red. The last time that happened was 1974 under Gerald Ford. Now, in 74, they actually did go 11 days. So we have hit the 10 days. If this goes red by end of day, we will have 11. We'll have 11. So right now, the Dow Jones is at least trying. They're at least trying to not have that hit the 11. But we'll have to see. But they did do 10 in a row. So that's. I was going to say impressive. Impressive, but the opposite for word of impressive. Think of the opposite word of impressive. That's what we have had happen. So that's another story to watch today. Political drama in Canada. I don't think we're going to see too much more of it. The MPs have all gone home for the holidays. In fact, Ottawa is on a hiatus pretty much until about the end of January. So, and that one thing that, of course, concerns me about that is we still need to get a resolution to the border. We need to get that fixed as well because we don't want to see those tariffs coming at us. So, something to keep in mind, something to keep in mind. But, guys, the market's looking good. We're off to a green start. Let's hope this continues. That was one of the reasons I was like, let's do the Blogmas early today because I just wanted to. I wanted to experience this with you guys. I wanted to experience that little green, that little green surge that we tend to get the morning after a big crash. So it has gone pretty much as expected. We'll have to see though. There's no guarantee that we're going to stay green. So let's see here. What was the blue line you were saying? Okay, so yeah, so with the TSX, basically, here's December 1st. December 1st, where it opened, was right here at 25,643. So I added a blue line. I added a blue line. So this way here, I know where we entered the month. So for us to have a green December, so for the month, we have to be above this line. That's basically what we were talking about. I also added it to the S&P 500 as well. So the S&P 500, they were above the line. They were flirting with it through the month. And you can see this is where they started the month. But they have been hanging above the line. And, well, Papa Pal knocked them below. And so right now, they're struggling down here. But they have an easier chance, I think, to get above it. So all of that fun thing. And I do need to add, I probably won't this month. We're halfway through the month. But next month, I'll add one for the NASDAQ too, for us to watch where things are going. All right, guys. All right. That was your market open. We're there. It's open. We'll see what happens as the day goes. And we're going to be back again here. Tomorrow, we will have a financial Blogmas. And we got our big live stream tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, where you guys will have a chance to answer questions from me. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Until then, everyone, take care. I can't leave yet. There we go. All right, everyone. Until then, take care. This was a short one, but I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, everybody, take care.